Hi, Brianna Garcia here again with another video exploration assignment. So today I chose to immerse myself on learning more on George Ramones and the anecdotal method. I went ahead and started off with just a regular Google search for more information on George and as well as the anecdotal method, but also filtered my search to be that of a video because I think sometimes a video is able to explain more than just regular reading. But in this case, I wasn't able to find essential information that I thought was vital. It was kind of stuff that was already in the book, so I just went back and I did another Google search and came across an article. So this article title is Early Comparative Psychology, and it goes into Darwin's theory at first, and then it goes ahead and goes more in depth with George Ramones and his anecdotal method. So although in our textbook it barely went over the book of animal intelligence, which tells us pretty much that he was a student and a friend of Darwin, and that he comes up with this idea based off of Darwin's ideas, of course, intertwined. And this article gives a little bit more in detail about the animal intelligence. So in the article it states, quote, he wrote a book called Animal Intelligence in 1882, comparing mental abilities of animals ranging from snails to humans. So, end quote. And I feel like that quote was very vital, and I know it mentioned in the book that he obviously looked at animals and at humans, but it never mentioned snails, so I thought that was pretty interesting. So I think being able to work off and dive in deeper gave me a better idea of where George was going with this. Like I said, in the book it does mention it, but the article went a little bit more in depth for people like me to be able to better understand, have a better background image of what I'm trying to picture. It also gave us more information on his book, and also gave us information more on how he familiarized animal minds and the human minds, because I think that's a pretty broad overview, but he goes in a little bit more depth than that. And again, in the article, it states that starting from what I know subjectively of the operations of my own individual mind and the activities which in my own organism they prompt, I proceed by analogy to infer from the observable activities displayed by their organisms what are the mental operations that underlie them, end quote. So I feel like this is very straight into the point and very broad as well, but I think it gives us a great overview of where his mind was and what his intention was, because his intention was he knew that they had minds and he wants to know what operates them just as ours operates. So I thought, and I pulled that from the article, so I really thought that was interesting. I also learned that the reasoning behind his method was to gather data, which is anecdotes. He did know that it was not very scientific form of evidence, but he thought it was very beneficial in generating hypotheses and could be investigated later. So I feel like his way of the anecdotal method was superior. I really think that it was cool. His intentions was obviously to learn more and investigate more, so I really think that was important. One thing I thought was very interesting to learn was that Romanes would refer to a rat that had just been freed from a cage as happy as and carefree. So just like us, he was able to compare the animal and the human, so I thought that was super interesting. And the mental life of a rat was assumed to be like that of a human in the same situation, minus only language. So it really got me thinking, is there really not a lot of difference between us and animals? So I really liked learning more about him, and I even want to do my own. I want to see if he did any research or any analysis on the rats, other than just talking about them, but I'm sure he did, and I just want to further investigate on that. But thank you for your time.